Hello, 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 and welcome to LinkedIn for HSPs. What's that all about? Is there a special approach for highly sensitive people? I believe there is. So I'm going to be sharing my four-stage pact framework with you all today, which helps me to feel in integrity and in alignment versus forced hustle. It's all about being in flow. But before I share that with you all, I'm actually going to bring up LinkedIn on the screen because I want you to be aware of how to find content related to the summit and also how to find your fellow attendees and your speakers. I very much want this to be an opportunity for you to connect as well as learn. This is very much a safe space, a safe container that we've created for the week. And as myself and Josh have said, we want this to be the start of the conversation and not just, once the summit ends, that's it. We want you to genuinely go out there as HSPs, live your best life, connect with each other, and feel empowered. I know when I first started reaching out to fellow HSPs on LinkedIn, my whole experience of the platform changed. Okay. So I'm going to quickly bring up LinkedIn and show you what I'm talking about. Oops. I don't know why that happened. That happened earlier on as well. You don't need to see my slides yet. Here we go again. Yes. Okay. There is LinkedIn. So the first thing I want to show you is how to find content. Okay. And I'm just going to show you this quickly. If you go to the very top of your profile to the search bar and you type in the hashtag HSP Awakening Summit, you can see it there. And it's going to bring up a whole variety of things. You can see there's a variety of filters here: posts, people, jobs, companies, groups, products, services, events, courses, schools. Lots of stuff, but automatically it opens on posts, and that's what I want you to have a look at and then scroll through, and you will see content related to the summit. Okay, so I'm not going to go super into using the search bar, but I just want to urge you to use it because people feel comfortable using the Google search bar every day. But for some reason on LinkedIn, I would say 99.9% of my clients don't use the search bar before we work together. So everything is there at the touch of your fingertips. Don't be shy. So this is how you find content, okay? And I would urge you also, I'll just quickly show you another few hashtags to look up. Of course, hashtag HSP, and another one. I know I'm kind of spoon feeding you here, but highly sensitive person, highly sensitive people, highly sensitive man, look up the hashtags that are of interest to you and you will find so many amazing people. Okay, like I said, when I started to use these hashtags, everything changed for me. Okay, and you can filter it, like I said, posts, people, jobs, and beyond. Okay, so I'm not going to go into that too much. So I'm going to just get back onto my homepage. Now I'm going to show you how to find the LinkedIn event page and how for you to find your fellow attendees so you can reach out and connect with them. Okay, so if you go onto the home screen of your profile, so by clicking the little house icon, the home, and if you scroll down on the left hand side, you're going to see lots of shortcuts. Okay, so the first one is recent. This is anything you've been looking at recently, whether it's content, hashtags, groups, events. It's kind of like it's just an amalgamation of everything, really. Below, you've got groups, any groups you belong to. Below, you've got events. Okay, we're going to find it in there. Okay, and then you've got followed hashtags. Okay, so I'm going to click into events. And it's a bit slow to load. Sorry about this. It's the joys of Wi-Fi on my Mac. Now, I would urge you to click show all. Okay, and this is always easier on the desktop versus the mobile app. Okay, and there's ours, the HSP Awakening Virtual Summit. It's slowly loading up, and we have over 800 attendees at the time of me recording this. So you can find the page. So how do you find each other? Well, you can either click here on all of the attendees and you can see everyone in one go, okay? Or you can go back. Let me just quickly, sorry, just go back there. Or you can go on the networking tab here. You can see all the comments on the page as well. So again, it's a bit slow to load. So I can see 327 of my first week connections are on the summit, yay. And then there's a bit of a breakdown up to the type of people. So 3 local people to me in Timmis. I know lovely Melissa. And you can basically see all the attendees like that. So I would urge you to explore, okay? I'm not saying you have to go and connect with everyone, but do have a look. And if you see somebody that looks interesting, don't be shy to reach out. This is an event. If you were at a face-to-face event, you know, and you were sat beside people or in the same sessions, there's quite a, you know, a chance that you would actually be reaching out and connecting with each other, whether it's, you know, sharing business cards or, you know, connecting online. So don't be shy, because this is a great opportunity to network. And you can find this page long after the summit is over. So if you're watching on replay, don't worry, the attendee information won't disappear. You'll still be able to reach out and connect with each other, okay? It's one of the reasons why I love LinkedIn event pages. They are amazing, okay? So that's really what I wanted to show you on LinkedIn before I bring up my slides. I also wanted to say, before I forget, if you are attending live, there is a giveaway, and the way it works is Hey Summit, the portal, AI, AI magic is going to select one of you randomly, and you will win my profile workshop course, okay, that you can do in your own time. It's a half-day training, 2.5 hours to be exact, and it walks you through the top to the bottom of your profile, over 30 touch points, and will teach you what to do in terms of like the tech and the strategy. So one of you will win, and I will reach out to you. So I don't want anybody else to feel left out. So if you look on the perk schedule of the Hey Summit portal, you will see I have a special offer for you all. So it's the exact same workshop replay that is usually priced at $295, and I'm reducing it for everyone in the summit to £49, which is an absolute bargain. So 85% off, because I want more highly sensitive people to get your foot in the door to make that amazing first impression and toot your horn on LinkedIn. No more playing it small. And do check out, I've got other freebies in there, and so have all the speakers. So do check out all of the amazing perks, giveaways, offers, freebies. There are so many. And again, if you're watching a replay, you should still be able to get access. And if you can't, don't be shy, reach out to us directly. We're happy to share them with you, okay? So I'm going to bring up my slides now, and hopefully I've not forgot anything. So here we go. I'm just going to review that properly. You don't need to see my notes. Okay, so here we go. Ooh, my system is a little bit slow. Here we go. So masterclass, LinkedIn for highly sensitive people. Who's ready to have fun on LinkedIn and get it working for you finally? Okay, little bit of housekeeping. I would advise you, like any, you know, webinar, just turn off all your distractions, switch your phone off, switch your emails off, bring your best energy. I want you to engage as much as you can in the chat below. I want this to be an engaged session, not just passively listening to me and not taking any action. Be committed, engage. Like I said, bring the energy. LinkedIn can be fun, and stay until the end or catch up on replay, okay? So one thing actually in terms of energy is you really need to bring your best energy to LinkedIn as well. And I really advocate doing LinkedIn at a time that suits you and your body. I am not an early bird, so I don't go on LinkedIn first thing. If you see me first thing, it's usually scheduled. So I would advise you all to be going on LinkedIn when you feel good within your body. Maybe it's after a walk or a run or a swim or Pilates, yoga, some meditation, whatever makes you feel good. Don't be going on LinkedIn because you think you have to go on, because energy is everything. So slight aggression there, okay? So you may not be aware, but there are nearly 1 billion members on LinkedIn currently. I anticipate when LinkedIn release their figures very shortly, we're going to be up to 950 or 960 million members, and we're going to be 1 billion members in 2024, that's for sure. So you can see in the UK, over 35 million, States over 200 million, Australia 13 million. You know, LinkedIn, you may not be aware, it's now the #1 professional network in the world, and it's also the #1 personal branding platform in the world, okay? I think a lot of people think Instagram is, but actually LinkedIn is the best place to build your personal brand. And LinkedIn is a very credible platform. It's a lot more reliable than TikTok or X, former Twitter, a lot more reliable. And the people on LinkedIn are in a more elevated mindset. And I know as HSPs, we like to go deep. We don't really like superficial kind of fluff, which is one of the reasons why I love LinkedIn. And I've never thought of LinkedIn as social media. I've always thought of it as a social network, because like any networking, it's all about relationship building. It's not just about, following people and consuming. It's really about building those connections. Okay. So quickly on to the next one. So some problems that my clients have before working with me, and you might recognize yourself in a few of these, they're not visible on LinkedIn, or they're not being seen by their ideal client. They're being seen by the wrong audience. They're not generating any leads. They're not sure how to sell. They're following methods that they've, learned from non-HSPs that don't feel in alignment. They worry about being spammy. So they're really blocking themselves, and they're stuck on what to do and where to start. Some more problems they have is #1 is imposter syndrome, lacking confidence that they can get LinkedIn working for them. I think as HSPs, sorry about that, we have got the tendency to overthink. And I think it's because we care. So if you do get imposter syndrome on LinkedIn, don't worry about it. I actually think it can be a good thing. I'm not sure why that keeps disappearing. Sorry about that. So another thing is my clients, they don't have a community on LinkedIn, or they're connected to the wrong people. They're lacking the support and the right environment that they need to get results. Okay, so this is probably you. You can probably recognize yourself. And I'd love to know, actually, below this video, let me know whether you are absent, lurking on, watching from the sidelines, whether you're actually actively networking on LinkedIn, or whether you consider yourself an influencer. And you can be a micro influencer on LinkedIn with like 1,000 connections. You can even be an influencer on LinkedIn with a few hundred. Okay. So obviously, if you're absent, you're not going to leverage LinkedIn. If you're lurking, it's just such a missed opportunity. You're not really engaging. It is a social network. You're being passive. Networking is great. It means that you're out there, you're doing your thing, and I'll go into that in a few slides with my process. And influencing, you need to find your purpose really to make a difference, to be considered an influencer. And I think as HSPs, we're very good at finding our purpose and connecting to it. And it's so important for us to do that in order to show up and be fully visible. So yeah, do share below whether you're absent, lurking, networking, or influencing. And I'm hoping by the end of this, you're all going to be geared up to be networking properly on LinkedIn. And you want to get out there, and influence so that you can impact the lives of your ideal clients. So, full transparency, I am a LinkedIn consultant for female entrepreneurs. So some of these slides will be geared at entrepreneurs, but I think most of it, if you are an employee listening or maybe a student, don't worry, this is all still going to apply, okay? So LinkedIn is an untapped platform for HSPs and everyone, to be honest, okay? Of all those 930 million members, only roughly 1% are creating original content. You may think everybody's creating content because you see it all on your home feed. They're not. There is such amazing organic reach for you if you are brave enough to put your toe, in the waters there on LinkedIn, okay? 9% of the 930 million people are commenting, okay? So they are giving back to the other people who are posting content. They are givers. And 90% are lurking, okay? So if you are lurking, don't feel bad. I think it's just because LinkedIn is that professional platform. So many people overthink it and block themselves. And you really have to reframe this because LinkedIn is a tool to help you. It is a communication and networking tool to help you advance your career and your business. So why would you not want to lean in? And you're all good enough to have a voice on LinkedIn, okay? These are some of the common visibility problems, okay? I think for HSPs, there can be a lot of perfectionism, wanting everything to be absolutely perfect, which can lead to procrastination and nothing getting done, okay? So perhaps you'll relate to one of these or several, and usually, to be honest, when I share them, a lot of people relate to all of them. So is this you when it comes to LinkedIn? Are you afraid if you do some content or your profile, it won't be perfect? Are you waiting for the right time to show up? Maybe you're waiting for a new website, you're waiting for some new photos, you're waiting, but the best time is always now, okay? LinkedIn seems overwhelming. There's a lot of noise. You don't have the support you need. You're not quite sure how to navigate it. You don't have the skills and knowledge to do it. You don't have enough time. And here's the thing, you don't need to spend all day on LinkedIn, and that's what I'm going to share with you about my framework. I advocate being on LinkedIn for a max of 30 minutes a day, no more, okay? So you don't need to be on LinkedIn for hours to get it working for you. And maybe you fear failing and being judged by your peers. I know some people fear even being laughed at, or maybe you're not ready to invest in yourself, okay? So have a think. Does any of that relate to you, okay? And I'm here to tell you, LinkedIn works for absolutely everyone. If you're saying to yourself, oh, my clients aren't on LinkedIn, or I'm not sure how to leverage it, LinkedIn works for absolutely everyone, okay? All business types, whether they're B2B, B2C, whether you are listening today and you're an employee or a student or an entrepreneur, it works for everyone, whether you're a sole trader or a large company, whether you're selling products or services. It's all about getting LinkedIn to work for you, your personality, your energy, your goals, your schedule. It works for everyone, okay? And the secret to raising your profile on LinkedIn is giving. And I think as HSPs, we are kind people. So you have a natural advantage on LinkedIn, okay? And I love this quote from Dale Carnegie, which sums up the giving relationship. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. So if you go on LinkedIn with that community mindset of how can I give back? How can I support and encourage and help others within my network? Then the law of reciprocity kicks in and people will give back to you. But if you go on LinkedIn with that mindset, scarcity mindset of me, the magic won't unfold, okay? And I know you're all kind. I've seen it with you commenting and connecting with each other. And I know it from my fellow speakers. We have all collaborated, and I've seen, HSPs are empaths, kind, giving people. So if you think of LinkedIn as a network and a place where you can support and help other people, amazing. I really want you to make that switch, because so many people hear, oh, LinkedIn's great for getting clients, it's amazing for social selling, and they go on with that kind of me mindset, and it never works. Okay, so I'm going to share, before I share my framework with you, a little bit about me, which will hopefully help everyone. Okay, the first part is about my corporate journey, so this is going to be me as an employee, and then I'm going to talk about me as a business owner and how I've leveraged LinkedIn. Okay, so before I start, I just want to say I'm very much an introvert, an empath, and a highly sensitive person. Being visible is not something that has been innate in me. Okay, for most of my life, I wanted to hide. Okay, my mother developed bipolar, manic depression at the age of 3. I walked around with my head down. I did not want to be put in the spotlight. I was afraid of being judged by my friends, by my peers, by everyone. Okay. I was very much happy being an introvert, reading books, watching telly, happy by myself. I did not want the spotlight. Okay. I've always been, I've always loved learning, and I've always loved writing and communicating very much as an introvert. Okay, so I'm not somebody who naturally gravitates to the spotlight. So this slide probably seems a bit showy, like, because as an employee in my last job, I leveraged LinkedIn to great effect. But before that, when LinkedIn first came out, I was afraid of it. I was like, what is this? Do I have to be on it? What's it all about? I really don't want to be on there. This is just from my boss. What's it all about? So I ignored LinkedIn for a few years. So I was not an early adopter. I knew it existed and I was aware of it. And then eventually I went to a talk on it, and I was like, wow, this can really help me with my job to do it better. And it wasn't a case of me trying to find a new job. It was just a case of me wanting to do my actual job better. So I'm originally from Dublin in Ireland, and I moved to London about 22, 23 years ago. And back in Ireland, I'd worked on a magazine, but I wasn't able to break into publishing and magazines in the UK. So I relaunched, rebranded myself as a high-level personal assistant. When I landed in London, I didn't know London at all. I didn't know the landscape. I didn't know the geography. I didn't know hotels. I didn't know restaurants. I didn't know it. So I joined a PA network to help me to connect with my peers and to do lots of familiarization trips to amazing venues and hotels. So this is when I found out about LinkedIn. I attended a talk that my PA network was running, and I was like, wow, I need to be on here. So what I did when I joined LinkedIn, then I started to connect, first of all, with my colleagues, first of all in London, then around the country, then around the world. Likewise, the same with my peers, so fellow PAs in London and then worldwide. And I started to lean in. So if I was ever stuck, for example, in booking a hotel or a restaurant for my boss and teams that I supported, I would reach out to a PA in that respective country, and they would help me. And likewise, it was a case of you scratch my back, I scratch yours, a win-win. I would help anyone when they were coming to London. So I started to build this really exciting, amazing network, and we started to really lean in and support each other. I also started to connect with amazing trainers and people that I really, fangirled over. And for the first few years on LinkedIn, I was very much hidden away in the DMs. So I realized the importance of a great profile. I optimized it. I really wanted it to do the talking for me as an introvert. And I primarily used DMs. I did not do any content for the first few years on LinkedIn. And I still managed to go on and win some awards, which was the most network PA in London, a National Rising Star Award from a women's network. And I became a global winner from Pittman Training, where I studied LinkedIn for Business. I just fell in love with it. I became a bit of a nerd, and I think as HSPs we like to go deep. So I studied a course on LinkedIn so I could understand the tech, and then there was no stopping me. So I eventually started to share content, but it wasn't about me. I took myself out of the equation, because when I focus on me, Jen Corcoran, I can get a bit blocked. And I see this with all my clients. When they're in their head, they don't take action. But when you connect to something bigger than you, then they take action. So for me, I was really fed up of the perception of a PA. What is a personal assistant? It's tea and typing. I'm a graduate. I have an honors English and French degree. And I know loads of PAs who had masters, spoke 5, 6 languages. They were running companies. And I thought, I've had enough of this. So I started to blog and post about this, articles such as how to network as a PA, how to create a PA network within your company, how to get your job spec revised so you get a pay rise. And of course, my peers loved it because I was championing them. And I ended up making an amazing community online because I connected to my why. And I ended up becoming the ¡1 PA online globally, ahead of Obama's PA. And I don't know if you can see, there's a screenshot there, David Gandhi, a supermodel. And I was working in banking, which is not that sexy, to be honest. Okay. So if I can do this, anyone can do it. Like I said, I'm very much an introvert. I'm an empath and I'm a highly sensitive person. I did not want to be in the spotlight. But when I thought of my why, then I was like, yeah, I can put myself out there just for fun. I've just got a random picture of me and Lord Sugar, just to make sure you're not falling asleep listening to this. So the 3 things I did to really leverage LinkedIn as an employee: #1, I was social. I didn't sit back passively. I reached out. I actively made connections. Okay. You may not be aware, but you can send 100 connection requests every week on LinkedIn for free, which means you can add up to 5,000 connections a year, okay, to your network. So I was actively connecting with people and sending DMs and building those relationships, okay? #2, I was consistent, okay? So whether you choose to go on LinkedIn, daily, weekly, monthly, it's that consistency that builds that know, like, and trust factor, okay? And #3, I was community focused. It wasn't about me, okay? Like I said, it's all in the giving, okay? So fast forward a few years. I'm no longer an employee. I burned out, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a slide or two. As a business owner, again, LinkedIn has done so much for me. And again, I'm following those same 3 things. I'm social. I'm always connecting with people. I am, again, community focused now. I'm all about championing fellow female entrepreneurs, in particular HSPs, introverts, empaths, to get our voice in the room, because we have so much wisdom that needs to be shared so we can impact our ideal clients. And again, I am consistent. And again, another cheesy photo of me outside Number 10 with Bear Grylls, just to make sure you're paying attention. So LinkedIn, it's helped me in so many ways. It's enabled me to win, national awards. I think one of the ones I'm most proud of is I was voted the most trusted marketing advisor in 2020 by Enterprise Nation, which is an association for small business owners, the largest one in the UK. And it's enabled me to create so many amazing relationships, be invited to exciting places like Number 10, House of Lords, meet Bear Grylls. It's done so much for me, and it can do it for you as well. It's also helped me to generate so much PR and publicity, magazines, newspapers, radio. I've not been on TV yet, but this video is my mini TV. But all of this, is because I've been connected to my why. Because when I get stuck in my head, I get the blocks. And I think we all do. So I think you really need to connect to your why. Because as Sarah will say, if you've watched Sarah's session today, a lot of marketing out there is very outward focused. And I believe for HSPs, we need to start inwards. We need to really connect to our why, our mission, our vision, our values, because if you don't, you will feel like an imposter. That's been my experience. You won't feel authentic. But when it's, when it's all syncing up, then the magic happens. So my why for me was that I burned out in corporate despite all the awards as a PA. I didn't love my job. I'd started on a maternity cover. I got a bit stuck. I was there 11 years and I had that midlife kind of a where am I going? Like what's happening here? I'm 40 and I'm in this job, but I don't really like banking or finance. And actually I don't really like these people. I was surrounded by no HSPs. And yeah, my back went. So the sexy support stockings on the top right are after my operation, and I was off work for 6 months. And a few things happened around this time that made me say, sod it, life's too short. I'm going to go all in with my business and with LinkedIn. So bottom left is a picture of me and my mom. As I said, she has mental health problems all my life. She was sectioned for about 6 months around the time of my back surgery, which was hard. Of course, I was in London, she was in Dublin. And then I got divorced from my first husband, bottom left. And I hope I'm getting these lefts and rights right. And then top left, my beautiful friend Katrina took her life. So, and Katrina was a HSP, my mom was a HSP, and all of this made me think, sod it, life's too short to play it small. There are amazing HSPs out there, including myself, who are not getting their voice in the room. They are burning out. They are not thriving. So I decided to go fully all in. LinkedIn had been a hobby for me while I was in corporate, but I thought, what? It's the one that blocks people. They overthink it. And I really want them to get their voice in the room and live their best life and tap into the endless opportunities and prosperity you can get on LinkedIn. So before I move on, I know a lot of empaths listen to this and they feel, emotions. So all I wanted to say is my back is good. Okay, I do Pilates, so all good. Actually, my back surgery was probably the best thing that ever happened to me because it stopped me. It made me stop and think and go, what do you want with your life? So I'm actually grateful that it happened. My mom is well. She is inspirational. She is super ballsy. If I had half of her balls, I would be amazing. So she is thriving. I'm happily remarried to Mike, who is a social worker specializing in mental health. And I honor Katrina in every presentation because I really want people to be aware of suicide. And I think we probably all know somebody who's been affected by it. And I think it can affect HSPs, a lot. I know Katrina was like the kindest person I ever met. And yeah, I just want to honor her by putting her in the presentation. So I'm going to tell you quickly the benefits of LinkedIn as a female entrepreneur. These will relate as well to a lot of them to you if you are an employee listening. And then I'm going to share my framework finally, but I wanted to give you some context so that you can see LinkedIn can work for you as both an employee and a business owner. It's a case, I believe, as a HSP, of connecting to your why and then going out and being social and consistent. So what are the benefits? Okay, well, increase revenue and income by connecting with ideal clients. If you're saying to yourself, my clients aren't on LinkedIn, I don't think they are. Okay, there's nearly 1 billion people out there. Okay, so I can guarantee they are. You just don't know how to find them, or you don't know how to attract them. Okay, and that's what people like me are here for, so don't worry. You can also get client referrals and partnerships. You can see I've partnered up with all these amazing speakers. We found each other on LinkedIn. Global speaking opportunities. Again, this is evidenced in this summit. I've got speakers from around the globe. It is an amazing place to build and develop your voice, authority, and brand if you lean in. More amazing benefits. It's an amazing research tool. As I showed you at the very start of the presentation, use that search bar and filter. And you can gather amazing market intelligence. You can have key connections from all around the world. You don't need to leave home. One of the things I love as an introvert, I can sit here in my slippers. I don't need to go out physically. There's no commute. You can save time and you can network on discussions that matter to you. Okay. It is the number one platform for industry-led content. As I said, the number one personal branding platform in the world. You can position yourself as an expert by posting on your preferred topic. The choice, like the control is yours. You control how you show up on LinkedIn. You control what you put in your profile. You control what you put out there in content posts. You control your comments. You control your DMs. And I think once you realize that, is really empowering. A lot of people feel LinkedIn's happening to them, but you're actually fully in control. And as an introvert, I love that. I love that my profile does the talking for me 24/7. You know, when I was back in corporate, I used to, or anytime I go to an event, I will find the attendees before and reach out, and I know my profile starts the relationship for me. And then when I go to any event, whether it's in person or virtual, people know me because I've reached out and they've already started to, connect with me. So I love that as an introvert. It just makes networking so much easier, which is why I'm trying to encourage you all to connect as well. So I'd love to know, which one of these are you? If you are a fellow female entrepreneur listening today, that's HSP. When it comes to LinkedIn, are you struggling? So you're taking any work that you can get because you're not attracting your ideal clients on LinkedIn. You're not consistent yet and you're not clear on goals. Or maybe you are surviving. You're, getting some traction on LinkedIn and in general with your business. You've got some good months, but then you've got months where you're getting no business at all. You're a bit clear on your business goals, but you're not super specific. Or are you thriving? Okay, you have an aligned, profitable, growing business, and you're consistently attracting and finding ideal clients and getting referrals. Now, I can help all of you go from struggling to surviving to thriving. Okay, LinkedIn, as I said, is an amazing platform if you lean in. It's not as easy as a lot of people think it is. There is a lot to it. It's not just about posting content and that's it. There's a lot of, in relation to personal branding, business branding, positioning, search engine optimization, social selling, outreach, community building, audience building, a lot of things related to LinkedIn that I can show you. But I'm going to just give you a rough overview of my 360-degree holistic approach for client success on LinkedIn, okay? And this can also be applied for an employee, okay? Or anyone really, okay? So my PACT framework, and I'm just going to break it down. It stands for presence, action, connect, and track. So the presence is all about building solid foundations. This is your LinkedIn profile, which is the gateway for everything you do on LinkedIn. Anybody content you share, any DM you send, people will check you out, okay? It also relates to your LinkedIn company page, okay? That this is a second URL that you can have for free on LinkedIn. And I'm a big believer in having both your profile and your page fully optimized. These are your foundations, okay? This is before you do any connections, content, outreach. Get your foundations in place. Make sure your profile and your page are fully optimized and fully customer centric, that it is clear the value that you bring, the transformation that you offer. Okay. So then action. You need to be social on LinkedIn. You need to take aligned action and you need to build an aligned audience, because if you're not connected to the right people, you're not going to enjoy LinkedIn. You're going to be like, oh, I don't like LinkedIn. It's boring. It's spammy. I hate it. But if you're connected to the right people, LinkedIn is a dream, okay? So you need to take aligned action. And as I said, you can send 100 connection requests every week. You have an amazing opportunity as well to connect with like minds during this summit. So do you look at the people on the LinkedIn event page or who are actively commenting in chat, and don't be shy and reach out, okay? Because HSPs are givers and you want givers in your network. You don't want energy drains, okay? You want energy givers. Then next step is connect, and there's various ways you can do this. As I mentioned, when I was in corporate, my main way of connecting to begin with was in the DMs. And for me, the magic has always been in the DMs. That is where you build a relationship. And if you're a business owner, you will be taking that relationship off LinkedIn from the DMs. You're not going to get any clients from the home feed. You have to go into the DMs. Other ways you can connect is through content on the home feed, which is always a great conversation starter, and also by commenting. Commenting, like I said, is a great way to give back to your network, and it also gives you visibility. So it is a win-win. Comments on LinkedIn are a great way to be found and a great way to dip your toe in the water if you're not comfortable sharing your content just yet. I have seen some posts on LinkedIn and the original poster didn't get much traction, and somebody's shared a really witty, funny, clever comment, and they've got so many likes and they've got so many connection requests on the back of their comment. So comments are super powerful, okay? So don't disregard them. And then the last step is track. And I know this is the one that none of my clients do before they work with me. And you need to have some kind of a tracking system on LinkedIn. Otherwise, it's all going to be haphazard, spray and pray. You're not going to have any kind of system, for making it easy. And I actually, when I work with my clients, we build a bespoke tracker for them. I call it a nurture tracker, and we put all of their leads in there. And that is who they are focused on. When they go on LinkedIn for that half an hour a day, they will be working primarily from their tracker. They won't be falling down the rabbit hole of scrolling endless content and not really knowing what they're doing from a strategic perspective. So I'd love you to all share in the comment section where you think you need to improve. And if it's all four, that's fine, no judgment. Just type in presence, action, connect, track, which you think that you need to improve on. And like I said, no judgment, okay? I think when you're an employee, the tracking may not be as, important for you, but is absolutely essential for you as a business owner, okay? So I'm going to just show you two quick case studies to my clients and just show you two approaches to LinkedIn, okay? So the first case study is Rosie, and Rosie is a personal branding photographer. And Rosie will say herself, she didn't really like DMs. She didn't want to do outreach. She wanted everything to be inbound, okay? And full transparency, I teach my clients both because I don't want them to be fully reliant on content and an algorithm. I want them to take control and not passively allow other people to shape their network. I want them to go out and, create an aligned audience. But Rosie, she wanted everyone to come to her. And Rosie's lucky because she has amazing visuals. She did my headshot and my banner image, all of my images. Rosie's done it. She's an amazing photographer near me. And you can see on the screen, she has optimized her cover banner, which is the area behind your head, to really, signpost what she does. She is very clear. Brand photography to shout about. She's a brand photographer. She's got a good headshot. She's got a niche specific and original headline. And because she wants to attract people to her content, she's switched on content creator mode on her profile. And she's showing up with relevant hashtags there. And this approach works for Rosie because she's got amazing visuals, okay? And she has, I don't know, probably 100 times her money back since working with me, because she's consistently getting clients through her amazing visuals, okay? And she's got a decent sized network. It's bigger now. Rosie's always switching up her banners. She'll look different when you look at her again. Um, but yeah, she's a decent network here, 13,500 followers, okay? And then fast forward to Laurie, okay? So at the time of taking this screenshot, she had a tiny network, 39 connections, and she was very new in business. She was a coach and a leadership coach, and she didn't really have any kind of LinkedIn experience, and she didn't have any business experience, and she didn't have any content because she was still kind of figuring out what she was going to do. So we focused completely on DMs, and I just told her to build those relationships and she could get to the content after. So she actually managed it 10 times her money back working with me by doing this. From those 39 connections, she converted 2 of them into clients and made 30K. So you don't need a massive network to get LinkedIn working for you. So she was amazing, and she is amazing at sending DMs, and the approach was very personalized. For example, like she reached out to one author that she really loves, and she told the author why she loved their book in particular. And she said, you know, page 37, paragraph 5, what you said here, blah, blah, blah. And the author was blown away and was like, wow. And they got on a Zoom call the next day because she made that person feel special. Okay. And that's what I told her. Make people feel special. Don't make it all about you in the DMs. Okay. So you can see 2 different approaches. Like I said, Rosie loves the content. She still has to go into the DMs to convert, but they come to her. Whereas Laurie was actually more reaching out. We were helping her reach out to people, and then she was really going deep with the DMs and personalizing and, you know, making people feel special and seen and heard, rather than sending spammy messages or no messages at all. Okay, so ultimately, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And it's the role of content that is going to set you apart on LinkedIn. And content is everything on LinkedIn. It is your profile, it is your company page, it is the posts you share on the home feed, it is posts you share in groups, it is comments that you share, DMs that you send, connection requests that you send. Content is everywhere, okay? So ask yourself, what's your current content game like? Is it clear what you do, or are you confusing people? And I find, as HSPs, we can complicate things, you know. I work with so many amazing, intelligent women, but their messaging on LinkedIn can be a little bit confusing. They're like throwing the kitchen sink at it. And you have to think, on LinkedIn and social media in general, you have to strip it back and speak like a copywriter, okay? Take words out and get straight to the point, cut the fluff. So clear versus clever content. So this quote's amazing, and so is this book by Marcus Sheridan. If you want to check it out, it's called They Ask You Answer, and it's all about content. Okay, so what Marcus says is, with content, a relationship of trust can be built with the salesperson and the company long before the first sales meeting. Great content means more trust. More trust means shorter sales cycles. And who doesn't want that? Okay, like I said, it's one of the reasons I love my profile, doing the talking for me 24/7. So is yours doing a good job for you? So I'd love to know who's feeling excited about LinkedIn, who's reframing their fear as feeling excited and ready, or maybe you're feeling a bit confused like this guy, or maybe it's a combination. Okay. So the magic, just to summarize, the magic happens when you optimize the profile, your profile, for your ideal audience. Okay. You have the right quality network, and aligned network, not every Tom, Dick, and Harry, okay, unless they're your ideal client, okay? Have an aligned visibility and content strategy. You need to have a strategy. You cannot be spray and pray. Otherwise, you will not be known for the right reasons, okay? You won't be known as the credible expert that you are if you're posting on different topics that don't make sense, okay? You need to connect and build rapport with the human being behind the profile. And like I said, make people feel special. Don't think of people as potential buyers, okay? I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, all those horrible spammy DMs. A lot of them are from people and a lot of them are automated from bots and they are just gross. So make people feel special. I need to disconnect from the noise and Marie Kondo. So I'm a big fan. I help my clients to streamline their home feed and their connections so that they're only seeing the content that they want. I only follow 10% of my network because the other 90%, they're great people, but I'm not interested in their content. So when I go on LinkedIn, it's like my, curated magazine feed, and it just makes it so easy for me to engage. So I think if you don't have a curated home feed, if you don't know how to marry Kondo, then it's just a lot of noise and you'll be seeing spammy posts or content that you're not interested in. For example, when I was in shipping finance, I'm not interested in shipping finance. I never was. So I'm not really interested in seeing like tankers or, oil and gas or cruise liners. It's just not for me. I want to see about female entrepreneurship. I want to see about HSPs. I want to see about empathy. I want to see about introverts. So if you can take control and Marie Kondo, it will change LinkedIn for you. More magic happens when you stand out and you show your personality and gifts, because there are lots of people doing the same thing as you in the world. There are lots of LinkedIn trainers out there. I am the only one specializing with HSPs. So you need to figure out what is your, USP, what is your point of differentiation as well, your UVP, you know, and don't be afraid to bring yourself to it, because people buy people. Businesses changed. People want to do business with small business owners and local business owners now as well, and they need to know your why, as opposed to just your product and service. They need to know a bit more. So you need to be able to truly articulate your value proposition. You need to define goals, create, share, talk, and show how valuable, showcase your social proof as well and your credibility. Share testimonials, case studies, stories from your clients, personal stories. Like you really need to toot your horn and have social proof. And like I said, you need to be social, consistent, and community focused. So obviously I don't have time to go into all of LinkedIn today. There's a lot, but one of the goodies on the perk screen is you can download a checklist in relation to your LinkedIn profile. It's about 7-8 pages long. It will help you show up in 40% more searches. So obviously it's not going to do everything for you, but it's a great start. And I think if you're anyway blocked with what to do with your profile, definitely download this. It is an amazing goodie. And likewise, check out the offer. Like I said, I've got that amazing workshop, which is a half-day workshop that will really help you get your best foot forward on LinkedIn. And I promise I'm nearly at the end of this. So there are 2 parts you could go down today. One is you enjoy this session, you're excited, you're going to go on, you're going to connect with more like minds, you're going to connect with the speakers, and that's it. Maybe that's it. But for those of you listening today, and this is a shout out only for fellow female entrepreneurs who are HSPs, who really want to leverage LinkedIn and learn how to get consistent leads with ease in a way that feels in flow and not forced hustle vibes, I would like to invite you all to come on a call with me, a free call, and I will give you all one free profile tip at the very least to make your profile more of a client magnet. Now, this invite is only for ladies who are serious about LinkedIn, who want to be consistent, follow a proven framework, not for dabblers, not for people who believe in a silver bullet, a magic silver bullet, because that doesn't work on LinkedIn, okay? So my details are there, and of course you've got them as well. So at the very least, like I said, I promise you one profile tip, but these calls are limited. You'll see them on my diary next week. I have about 20 max, and they are for female entrepreneurs only. And I'm sorry if you're not a female entrepreneur who wants to leverage LinkedIn, but do check out my checklist. Everybody can access that, and everybody can access the profile training as well. So there's something for everyone, okay? So nearly at the end, folks. I think just to summarize, I just wanted to show you a few of my cheesy props. This is one already. I think hopefully you can see it. So basically, you are brilliant and the world deserves to know. So many HSPs are amazing, but they're hiding their light. Please don't let that be you, because if you do that, you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot. You're also shooting your ideal client in the foot, because they're going to go to somebody else who is not as good as you, who does not go as deep, who does not have heart and empathy and compassion like you. And they're going to have a bad experience, which is actually going to do your industry a disservice as well. So please, please show up and toot your horn. You are amazing. You are worth it. Forget about the perfectionism, okay? There's another one of my cheesy props, okay? And it's a little bit ruder. I am from Dublin and I am a bit cheeky. So balls to it, you have to embrace failure. Don't be afraid to get a bit messy. That's where the magic happens. And quite often we imagine things, and the doing is never as bad. I think when we're new to something, it's like, oh my God, you can build it up. I'm going to, everyone's going to judge me. And what if I go live? But when you actually do it, and I had all these blocks, all of them. Okay. I remember doing my first live, and after it, I was kind of like, is that it? And my husband was laughing, going, God, you were having a breakdown an hour ago. Now you're like, on to the next. So I would just say, embrace the messy, embrace the fear, reframe it as feeling excited and ready, okay? Because LinkedIn is amazing if you lean into it. And one final cheesy thing. Well, it's not cheesy. This is a book that I'd like to recommend to everyone. It's not about LinkedIn. It's something that helped me. If you are overthinking and thinking you're not worthy to show up on LinkedIn and to have a voice, it's an amazing book by Marissa Peer, and it's I Am Enough. And you are enough. Like, I think so many HSPs feel like they're broken and flawed and weird, and we're not. We're amazing. Like, we are amazing. And I know this summit is helping you to see that. So please believe it, because you are all amazing. And I want to see you all on LinkedIn. I want to see more HSP creator influencers. Like, get your voice out there. There is so much hype and hustle on LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be all like that. Connect with the amazing speakers. Your feed will be transformed. Find other HSP like minds, because HSPs are great for collaboration and, partnership as well, because they genuinely want to support each other. And I think where I went wrong, my first few years in business, I was trying to collaborate with non-HSPs, and I promise everything changes when you find the right people. So I hope you're feeling a bit more excited about LinkedIn. You can see why my framework works: the presence, the action, the connect, the track. And yeah, I just want to finish off by saying I would love to connect with you all. Don't be shy, reach out to me, and just enjoy the rest of the summit. It is so amazing. Don't be afraid to check out sessions that you maybe you think they're not for you. They're all amazing. I would personally be getting the replays for them all and watching them again, because there's so much wisdom in them. Like, it's been like going to HSP university for me. I only wish this summit, something like this, was around 30 odd years ago. So I just want to thank you again for being with me on this journey. Enjoy the rest of the summit, and I will see you with Josh at the very end, where we can be celebrating on HSP World Day. Take care, folks. Bye.